Hey there, welcome to Burning Waters of the Moon Tarot. My name is Desiree, and this is a reading for the sign of Aries. So let me transition to my desk. I'm back in my room. You can't really see. Unfortunately, I can only get one camera going right now. Two cameras crashes my computer, and if I use the camera that belongs to my computer that's on board, it's very blurry and it's just not a crisp picture. So I decided to forego the um the portrait of myself, and we'll just work with the cards. So the moon is a new moon right now. It's actually a dark moon. And I took my little rest for the day or for the moon cycle. Usually I like to rest the entire day, but unfortunately my my Pentacles life doesn't allow for me to follow the cycles of the moon. So I rested a bit. I did a little bit of journaling. I did a little bit of altar work as well. And so I've decided to just go ahead and start with my new offerings. And so I'm going to post a portion of this video on YouTube, but then there's going to be an extended version that I'm going to post and make available on the Buy Me a Coffee link. So if you want to dive further into the message, you can, of course, go into the Buy Me the Coffee link and purchase the video, and hopefully you like it. I think you will. And I'm going to be reading for all 13 signs. And so it's going to take me a while to get everything read and uploaded, but this is going to be a reading for the month of May. And we're going to be working with the new moon energy. And so about every, I guess, 25 days or so, I'll start posting the new readings so that we can get them out there for the new moon cycle, I guess you could say. So this is going to be, I had to take a drink of tea here. So the new moon is today, and it is in the constellation of Aries. So that means that the next new moon reading is going to be, let me check here. The next new moon is going to be May 27th. Wow. So exactly 30 days. No, wait, that's today. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So it's May 26th. So it's 29 days. And that's going to be the next new moon. So I will have some more readings for you so that you can work with the moon cycle. Now, the moon cycle is generally 28 point, I can't think of the decimal, but it's just under 30. And so my readings are going to be from new moon to new moon. And you can harness that energy in that when a new moon comes around, a crescent moon comes around, that's when we want to start things. We want to start initiating things. And of course, sometimes it can be that it doesn't work out the way that we quite want it to. Like, I like to rest on the dark moon day and just kind of take it easy and not do anything strenuous and, just kind of make it a day for me. But because that doesn't follow my work schedule, I need to do a lot of my readings during the weekend. And this is not exactly strenuous activity, but it does take a lot of energy. I build like internal energy, I guess you could say, because I get hot. So there is some work going, and also, it's something that I love. So I love reading tarot. I love helping others. I love helping people to heal. And so with these readings, it's just going to give you an extra oomph, an extra insight as to what you can be working on, what energies will be best suited for your sign and for the moon cycle. Okay. All right, so I have 3 decks here and an oracle deck, and I pulled all 3, but I only used 2 to read. And so for this reading, Aries, we're going to use Tarot of the Abyss by Anatorian, and then the Tarot Avatara by Gabby Angus West. All right, so let's get started. Oh, that shuffle feels so good. I love to shuffle this deck. This is an amazing deck to shuffle. And it's a beautiful deck. It's Thoth based. And I've recently been learning Thoth, becoming a little bit more comfortable with Thoth. And, you know, honestly, there's not that big of a difference between the two, other than a couple of card meanings, and then they changed. Some of the majors were changed, but it's the same concept. They're from the same what's that called? They're from the same group, the Golden Dawn. And so I think some of the artwork, it's still RWS similar, but some of the artwork kind of leans more towards the Thoth-based meanings. But it's beautiful nonetheless. I love this deck. All right, Aries, let's see what's going on with you, or what's coming up for you in this next moon cycle. So we've got the Six of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Cup in reverse, and the Five of Swords in reverse. Okay. Interesting that they're all in reverse for you. Knight of Cups, he is our lover of the tarot. He really wears his heart on his sleeve, and he goes for things full-heartedly. So with our Six of Swords here, that's a card of, you know, moving on, kind of seeking better waters. And then we also have the Five of Swords, which is conflict. So air energy is going on here. And so I feel like there might be a conflict between maybe some logic and your heart. What's going on in your mind is not necessarily, or what your mind is telling you you should do, the path you should follow, is not necessarily the path that your heart wants to follow. So there is a bit of confusion here, Aries. And with the sun and moon in your constellation, I think that's a little bit difficult for you because you're an initiator. You like to do things. You like to take action. You like to go forth. You like to, you know, not spend too much time in that thinking phase. And I feel like there might be some kind of something that's holding you back, and it's not necessarily wanting you to move on to some, let's say, calmer waters. Let's pull some cards from the deck of Tarot of the Abyss. See what the artwork of Anatorian has to say. Tarot of the Abyss is one of my favorite decks. I mean, I think it's pretty much, it's up there. I just love this deck. And my favorite card out of this deck is the Eight of Cups, because the woman in that card, she's first of all, she's pouring out some water or some liquid from one of the cups, right? And then second, she just has this face on her face where she's done, she's had it, and she could not care less what anybody thinks, or she, you know, there's just this look on her face that is just like, okay, you know, next, you know, I'm not dealing with this anymore. And I just love that. I love that energy. So, and while the Eight of Cups can have a feeling of sadness, but of melancholy, but it's just something that has to be done, you know. It's like rip the Band-Aid off, and it's got to be done either way. And so you might as well do it in strength, you know. And that's the way I feel about this card. Oh, we have the Knight of Cups upright, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, the Emperor, Queen of Swords in reverse, Nine of Wands in reverse, and then the Four of Wands upright. King of Pentacles in reverse, Five of Wands in reverse. Oh, and here is our Eight of Cups. Oh my gosh. Okay. Interesting that I was talking so much about this card. So let's pull this up closer so you can get a good look. Let's see. Is that going to focus? You know, autofocus makes me mad sometimes. It wants to look at my hand, but like, why won't it focus on this beautiful lady and all this action that's going on there? Maybe if let's get my journal. We can put it this way. Just get a flat background. Okay. That's a little better. Can you just see the look on her face? She is just like, I'm done. I don't care. This is great. Wish you well, and keep your damn water too. So, I mean, I love that card. It's amazing. The strength, the resolve in her face. And, you know, and I love that it's in this position here, because I put a lot of emphasis in these two cards, just because it's the first and the last card. And I feel like these two are sort of holding the energies of all of this. And I really like that while there may be some sort of conflict going on for you right now, Aries, it's going to get resolved, and you're going to know that that's the answer once you get there. You're going to feel good about the answer. There's not going to be all of this back and forth in what it is that you're kind of confused or cloudy or muddied right now. Excuse me. So also what I do like is, though we have the Knight of Cups in our major energies here, and he's in reverse, we have the Knight of Cups upright down here. And that is further telling me that you're going to flip this around. You're going to regain your thought process on this. And I kind of get the feeling there might be some a familial situation, something to do with just a deeper connection than, say, friendship or something. And I also like that we have our Emperor down here, because he's our great architect. He puts things together. He sees the plan for the future, and he initiates. You know, this is an Aries card. This is an Aries energy as well. And so this is your card. This is the initiator. This is that great person who gets things moving, gets things going. He looks at things in a logical way, but he likes to get it moving. So another thing that I see here, we've got the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Swords in reverse. And I do feel like you are definitely tired of being in this situation. And there is a conflict between your water and your air right now. Your heart and your mind aren't communicating, or they're not agreeing on the same thing here. And often it is hard to get those two to agree and to get on board, because, you know, sometimes the heart can be irrational and the mind is more rational. But we can't always live on rationality, you know. Sometimes it doesn't make sense that we want to choose this type of love. And sometimes it doesn't make sense that we want a better computer so that we can make prettier videos, you know, and it doesn't quite make sense in the rational mind, but in the creative, the heartfelt arena, it makes sense. And so that's why a lot of times the mind and the heart are at odds with one another. Now, with the Five of Swords over here, I do see that we have the Five of Swords in reverse. We have the King of Pentacles and the Five of Wands in reverse as well. So whatever this conflict is that's going on, it's not only affecting you, but I think it's affecting a lot of things that are around you. Okay. It could be because maybe you're upset and your heart just isn't happy, your heart isn't content for whatever reason, and that is spilling out into your physical world as well. So, but in the end, I do see that you're going to pull all of it together as you will, Aries. You're going to come out of possibly this fantasy that you're living in, and you're going to see that it's not actually what it has appeared to be. It's not exactly what it was presented to you as, and what you built your expectations around. It is morphed into something different. And so basically there's going to have to be a rebuild in a way. Now, one of the things that I am learning in astrology, or have learned, is there is something called the solar lunar cycle. And Dr. Danny spoke about this. She made a nice informative video on the solar lunar cycle. And what that is as the moon traverses, or the sun rather, goes around the zodiac, it picks up energies as it's going around the zodiac, right? And it's visiting all of these houses. And when there is a particular new moon or a moon cycle in a certain house, it affects you. It affects you on the level of your birth chart. Sorry that I'm stuttering. It's a new concept that I've learned, and so this is something that we are going to discuss in the extended, right? We're going to discuss how this affects you, Aries, in the particular house that that this new moon is happening, and how it affects you and your birth chart. Okay. Let me grab. My tea can often dry my mouth. And tea is a diuretic as well, And so drinking too much tea, too much caffeine, can really dehydrate someone. And I love tea, and I drink it every day, so I'm probably dehydrated. Okay, so so back to the solar lunar cycle. So this solar lunar new moon is happening in your first house, Aries, because the new moon is in the constellation of Aries, and so that is a first house happening for you, and that is the house of the self. And so what that means is that this new moon is a time for you to look at what is going on with yourself. Okay, what is going on in your world, in your mind? What is it that you really want to accomplish? What do you want to do? And with it being in Aries, this new moon being in Aries, it's going to give you that energy, that recharge, that spark to start something different. And so while this might seem like an ending, it's also a beginning as well, is because you're going to be leaving this sort of energy behind where there's a lot of conflict, a lot of indecision. You're going to be leaving that behind and starting something new. And it's not always a bad thing, because we learn something when as we experience things, right? And we take that experience and it turns into wisdom. And so when we start this new thing, whatever that may be, as we are walking away from all of this, we can go in wholeheartedly. We can go in with the Knight of Cups upright and work with follow our heart, right? Because we've been through this previous situation, and we'll be able to know what the warning signs are, or what the red flags might be. And we can follow our heart, but we can also follow our heart with the wisdom that we've gained. All right, Aries. So that is going to do it for this new moon cycle for you. I'm going to link Dr. Danny's video in the description box so that you can learn a little bit about your solely lunar cycle as well. And you can see what she says about how you can work with this energy throughout the moon cycles throughout the year. And you don't necessarily have to purchase the extended, but if you do, I will see you there. So take care and have a wonderful 29 days. Bye now.